If you have real expertise but you can't turn it into consistent online sales, this video is for you. I'm gonna break down the 3 mistakes that stop experts from selling high-ticket info products through their personal brand. So the first mistake, and I see this literally every single week, is positioning. Now before you skip this, because you have heard it before, stick with me, because the way most people do positioning is completely wrong. And it's the reason your content isn't attracting the right people, no matter how much you post. Everyone talks about positioning, but very few people actually do it in a way that makes someone stop scrolling and think, okay, this person is exactly who I need. Because the formula is simple. Who you help plus specific problem plus specific outcome equals clear positioning. Now here's what clear positioning sounds like. A fitness coach says, I help busy moms over 35 lose 20 pounds in 90 days without giving up the food they love. A business coach says, I help consultants who are stuck on 10K per month build a system to sign 5,000 clients without cold outreach. A finance guy says, I help people in their 30s pay off debts and start investing, even if they have tried and failed before. Same person, same expertise, completely different results. Because now the right person reads it and thinks, wait, that's literally me. And here's why most experts avoid doing this. They are scared that if they get too specific, they'll lose people. But the opposite is true. The more specific you are, the more the right person feels like you are talking directly to them. And those are the people who actually buy. Before you work on your positioning, you need to know your ICP, your ideal customer profile. Who exactly is the person you help? Where are they right now? Where do they want to be? If you don't know that clearly, your positioning will always be blurry. If you haven't done this yet, I put a prompt in the description that walks you through building your exact ICP step by step. Once you have that, positioning becomes simple. Here is the other thing that kills positioning that nobody talks about. Your content needs to match where your ICP actually is, not where they were 2 years ago. If your ideal clients is a fitness coach already making 15 to 20K per month and you are making content about how to get your first client, that content is completely irrelevant to them. They are padded. You need to be talking about how to go from 15 to 20K to 15K, how to stop trading time for money, how to build something that scales. That's the gap they are actually trying to close. Speak to that gap and the right people will find you. Second mistake, this one is simple but it kills a lot of experts. They only make viral content. And yes, viral content is important, but if that's all you are doing, you are building the wrong audience. Let me explain. You need to decide what kind of audience you are actually building. Followers or people who will buy from you. And I want to be clear, I'm not saying don't make viral content. You need it. Without it, nobody finds you. But you need 2 types of content, not one, and most experts only make one. The problem is almost everyone optimizes for views. More views feels like progress, but views don't pay the bills. What pays the bills is the content that attracts the right person. Someone who had the exact problem you solve and is ready to do something about it. So how do you find content ideas that actually attracts buyers? It's simpler than you think. You already know where your ideal client is right now and where they want to be. That gap between those 2 points, that's your entire content strategy. Let me give you a real example. Let's say you are a fitness coach and your ideal client is a guy in his late 30s who's put on weight, doesn't have much time, and wants to get back in shape without spending hours in the gym. That's his A point. His B point is he feels good in his body again, has energy, maybe loses 15 to 20 pounds, fits back into his old clothes. Now look at what's stopping him from getting there. Maybe he thinks he needs to do cardio every day. Maybe he's tried diets before and they didn't stick. Maybe he doesn't know what to eat when he's traveling for work. Maybe he just doesn't know where to start. Every single one of those is video, a post, a piece of content, and every single one speaks directly to the person you want to attract. You will never run out of ideas when you think this way. But here's the part most people completely skip, and it's a more important part. It's not enough to just give information. Information gives knowledge, but knowledge alone doesn't make people buy. Desire makes people buy. Your content needs to make your ideal client feel what it's actually costing them to stay where they are. Not in a manipulative way, just honest. Here's what that looks like for a fitness coach. You know what to eat, you know you should be working out, you have known this for 3 years, but every summer you are back in the same place. Avoiding the beach, wearing the same hoodie, telling yourself you will start on Monday. The problem isn't that you don't have the information. The problem is you keep trying to do it alone. What's 10 times easier with the right system and someone holding you accountable. Another summer of I will start Monday or the last one. That's the difference between content that informs and content that moves people. And the third mistake, this is one almost nobody talks about. You can have perfect position, you can have great content and still not close high ticket clients consistently. Because people still don't see how you actually solve the problem. Let me show you what I mean. At this point, your audience already knows who you help, what problem you solve, and what outcome they can expect from working with you. But there is still one thing missing. And this is what separates experts who close high-ticket clients consistently from those who don't. They don't see how you actually solve the problem. Anyone can say, I help experts scale to 100K per month, But if you can't show the exact mechanism behind that result, the specific steps, the specific logic, the reason your approach works, you sound like everyone else. And when you sound like everyone else, the only thing people compare you on is price. This is where your unique mechanism comes in. Your unique mechanism is the system you use to get your clients from point A to point B. It doesn't have to be complicated, it just has to be yours, named, structured, and explained. Clearly enough that your ICP thinks, okay, this person actually has a process. This isn't just talk. Think about it from the buyer's perspective. Before someone spends 3K, 5K, 10K with you, they need to believe two things. First, that the outcome is possible. Second, that you specifically know how to get them there. The first thing your content builds. The second thing your unique mechanism proves. When you have a clear system and you talk about it consistently in your content, in your conversation, in the way you explain your work, something shifts. You stop being a coach or a consultant, and you become the person who had the method. And people don't price shop method the same way they price shop generic services. So if someone watches all your content and still can't explain to a friend how you actually work and why it works, that's the gap. And that gap is costing you clients.